Hello students, I welcome you all to the subject of environmental science. As you all know, in BBA semester 1, the environmental science subject has been introduced since the year 2016 in Saurashtra University. This subject is such a subject in which we get to learn about the immediate environment that we are living in, and in this environment how the environmental process goes on, how the environment works, in which environment we live, how aware we have to be about the protection of environment, and various aspects like these we get to learn, right? This subject is a compulsory subject, one of the compulsory subject of BBA semester 1. In the sense, we are going to study this particular subject for first semester only. The subject is very live in the sense that subject gives us overall idea in the sense that whatever environment, whatever surroundings we live in, how it is made up of what it is made up of, how we manage to live and survive in this environment, and why it is so important at the end to protect our environment. It teaches all these aspects. In the previous lecture, when I introduced you to the particular subject, this particular subject, I have mentioned almost the outline of the subject. I repeat it one more time so that you are clear with the subject and the topics to be covered. Alright, now as far as your environmental science subject is concerned, the environmental science subject is for semester 1. It is a compulsory subject and it is a 100 marks paper, including 30 marks internals and 70 marks would be your university exam paper. As far as the syllabus of environmental science is concerned, you are going to study as many as 4 units. Units are nothing but they are the chapters or the lessons which you have been doing it in the at the school levels, whatever you call it, whether you call it lessons, whether you call it chapters, it's one and the same. So we are going to, or the whole syllabus has been divided into 4 different units, and these 4 different units has its own subsection. That means unit number 1 is divided into A and B part. Again, unit number 2 will be divided into A and B part. Unit number 3 and 4 likewise. That means one by one, in a proper order, we shall be studying these units in A and B portion. Now, this was the outline of your subject for the whole semester. From today onwards, from this session onwards, we are starting our own syllabus and we are starting with the unit number 1, and that is environment and environmental science. That means A part would be environment and B part of unit number 1 would be environmental science. When we come to that part, I shall be discussing about the B part. As of now, I am going to introduce you to unit number 1, A part, that is environment. Now, what the content of this unit would be? See, very soon you will be provided with your notes or with your books, right? And you will be having the physical stuff before you very soon. So, it will become comparatively easy. But as of now, because we don't have any physical thing before us, I told you in the previous lecture also that you should be keeping at least a book and a pen while listening and reading or maybe watching this video lecture, right? When you are watching the video lecture, keep your books with you, keep your pen with you, so that when you are listening to it, when you are watching the slides, you can see that whatever has been mentioned, you get it in the notes also. So, if I am talking about this particular slide that you are watching right now, right, it is the content. Content means આ ચેપ્ટરની અંદર કેટલા મુદ્દાઓ, કેટલા એસ્પેક્ટ્સ આવશે એનું એક કન્ટેન્ટ, એનું એક ઇન્ડેક્સ બનાવેલું છે, right? And that index I have placed it here in the 2 slides. What I want you people to do is that you have to get it done or write these things in the book also, so that you will come to know that okay, unit number 1 A part, you have to study these 5 to 7 aspects, right? And so one by one when we take up with the video lecture, તો તમને ખ્યાલ હોય કે આપણે અત્યારે કયું કન્ટેન્ટ કરી રહ્યા છે, whether we are doing 1 and 2, whether we are doing 3 and 4, where we are. So exactly, if you have a physical book with you, you have a kind of noted points before you, then it becomes easy for you to check that what we are doing at what point of time. All right, now coming back to unit number 1, what is environment, how we are going to proceed, I shall explain it to you later, but this is the prime requirement right now for all of you to see that whatever the content has been given in slide number 1, you should be noting it down in the books also. Put a separate book, make or maintain a separate book for ES, that is environmental science. Every time I'll be talking as the subject in short as ES, environmental science, right? So you should be having a particular book for environmental science in which you should be jotting down from the very beginning. That means if you wish to, you can even refer the previous lecture. તમે આગળનું જે એક સબ્જેક્ટિવ ઇન્ટ્રોડક્શન વાળું જે લેક્ચર હતું એ પણ તમે જોઈ શકો છો, એ પણ તમે બરાબર રેફર કરી શકો છો. એન્ડ દેન યુ સ્ટાર્ટ વિથ ધીસ લેક્ચર યુનિટ નંબર 1 જ્યાંથી આપણે ઇન્ટ્રોડ્યુસ કરીએ છીએ. Alright, here I have mentioned the contents, like it includes the contents like introduction. Number 2, it's all about definition. Number 3, it is types and structure of environment. It includes physical, social, psychological and biological environment. Coming to the 4th point, it is the scope or components of environment that we'll be studying. It is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere that we'll be studying. Next comes up is biogeochemical cycle, which includes the cycles like hydrological cycle, maybe carbon cycle or nitrogen cycle. 6th point is all about the concept of ecology, and the 7th one is about the concept of ecosystem. That means we are going to study 7 different points, 7 different aspects we are going to study here under the unit number 1. Unit number 1 includes 7 points. Now, why these 7 points are important, or why we have mentioned it under the different points, means at the end of unit 1 A part, you should be clear about these 7 points, because there are all chances that out of these 7 points that we have started doing it from today's lecture, you may get the questions in the university exams also, and it will be included in your internals of 30 marks also, right? So you have to be very careful that okay, at the end of each part you should be clear that in this video session we have studied this 1 and 2 part, in the next it will be 2 and 3 and 4 part, and likewise. That means whatever you study, you should be marking it in your books. In the books also, you try to maintain sub points. In the sub points, whatever we are studying or whatever the explanation is being made, you can even point it down, you can pen it down, jot it down, so that ultimately at the end of the session તમને ખ્યાલ આવી જાય કે આ વિડિયો લેક્ચરના અંતે મને આટલું સમજવા મળ્યું છે, right? So it is very important from your side to see that all these 7 points have been jotted down on the first page of your ES notes. All right. Now, before starting this particular subject and this unit, I would like to tell you કે આ સબ્જેક્ટ બહુ જ લાઈવ છે, આ સબ્જેક્ટ લાઈવ બહુ જ છે, જીવંત બહુ જ છે. પણ those who are coming from Gujarati medium, they may find it that there is lot much ટર્મિનોલોજી ડિફરન્સ. દેટ મીન્સ ટર્મિનોલોજી એટલે તમે ટર્મ્સ, તમે જે સાંભળ્યું હોય, કદાચ એવા જ શબ્દો સાંભળવા મળે જે તમે ક્યારેય પહેલાં સાંભળ્યા ન હોય. તમને એ પોઈન્ટ ઓફ વ્યૂથી કદાચ તમને એ અઘરું લાગે, પણ અઘરું બિલકુલ નથી. સિટ વિથ ધ ડિક્શનરી. આઈ ટ્રાય ટુ મેક ઇટ એઝ સિમ્પલ એઝ પોસિબલ. મેં લાસ્ટ લેક્ચરમાં પણ વાત કરી હતી કે ધ સબ્જેક્ટ ઇઝ સચ વિચ યુ હેવ પ્રાઇમરીલી સ્ટડીડ સમવેર ઇન 6-7 સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ, સો ઇટ શુડ નોટ બી અ પ્રોબ્લેમ ફોર યુ. ઇન્સ્ટેડ તમને એ વધુ ડેપ્થમાં લઈ જાય છે, તમને વધુ ગહનતાથી આ સબ્જેક્ટ શીખવા મળે છે. એન્ડ એનાથી વોટ ઇઝ ધ પર્પઝ? ધ પર્પઝ ઇઝ ટુ ક્રિએટ ધ અવેરનેસ. આ આ સબ્જેક્ટ અહીં મેનેજમેન્ટમાં ભણવાનો શું અર્થ છે? તો વન્સ યુ લર્ન ધીસ સબ્જેક્ટ, what you come to know is, you will come to know that how we can, or what we can do for our environment, what we can do for our immediate surroundings, and for that very reason we are learning this particular subject here. Alright, so તમારી પાસે એક વ્યવસ્થિત નોટ્સ હોવી જોઈએ. યુ શુડ બી કેરિંગ ધ ડિક્શનરી વિથ યુ while you are sitting for this subject. You should be trying to see and find out in the dictionary that if this term has been used, what is the meaning to it, so that ultimately the whole part is clear to you. Now, if I am going to explain it everything in English, you should be accustomed, or you should be getting yourself accustomed, or maybe say adjusted, that okay, we have to now listen to English lectures, right? અમારે આ લેક્ચર અથવા આ સબ્જેક્ટ અમારે ઇંગ્લિશમાં જ થ્રુ આઉટ તમારે ભણવાનો છે. ઇન ધ ઇનિશિયલ સ્ટેજ, યસ, I may take up with a little bit of Gujarati to make you understand the fundamentals, but then gradually you have to see, you have to get yourself trained that we have to listen to the English lectures itself, whatsoever the subject may be. જ્યાં ત્યાં જે વસ્તુ કદાચ તમને કોઈ પણ કારણોસર નથી સમજાતી, તો you can just underline it, you can just keep it with you whenever we meet physically, or whenever we have the sessions where we can answer, where we can create question answer session. At that time I shall be taking up with the resolution of all your problems, right? But by that time તમારી પાસે એક આઈડિયા હોવો જોઈએ, તમને ખ્યાલ હોવો જોઈએ કે આપણે શું ભણી રહ્યા છીએ. This is very live subject. આપણી આજુબાજુ જે થઈ રહ્યું છે, that is only we are going to study. But yes, the difference would be, we will be studying it with scientific terminologies, and we may go to the depth, right? So in that sense you have to get yourself trained. Anyways, here as I told you, unit number 1, A part is consisting of these many 7 points. So let us go with the starting or introductory part of environment. This is unit number 1, Introduction to Environment, part A. I repeat, unit number 1 is divided into A and B part. Right now what we are dealing is part A. Now, what I'll do is, I'll read out the points that I have mentioned and I'll explain it as well. This will be the modus operandi, or this will be the style of teaching, right? So wherever I feel that yes, this point requires more and more of explanation, the same will be done. And until and unless I don't come to the next slide, you have to understand that everything related to the slide that is before you, the explanation is going on, right? So keep your ears open, pay perfect attention there, and try to listen to whatever I am saying. I'll try to make it as simple as possible, but yes, because you all are now English medium students, you have to get yourself trained listening to the whole of the English lecture. Alright, okay, let us begin. If I ask a question like, what is environment? If you remember, in the last lecture, that means in the introductory lecture, I took up two very pretty, very nice picture, and one was related to garbage, right? The nice and the pretty picture related to nature. If I ask you then, what is environment? Then naturally you are going to point out those two pictures, which gives you a very good, very nice kind of picture before you, very nice scenic beauty is there before you, and you feel that yes, this is environment. But the garbage, the picture that contained the garbage, that is also the environment, and we must not forget this, right? So if in a layman's language, if a question is asked, what is environment, આપણને એવું પૂછવામાં આવે કે પર્યાવરણ એટલે શું, then the immediate answer to this question would be, anything that surrounds us can be considered as environment. કોઈ પણ વસ્તુ, કોઈ પણ ચીજ વસ્તુ જે આપણી આજુબાજુ આપણને ઘેરે છે, અથવા આપણે જેનાથી સરાઉન્ડેડ છીએ, એન્સર્કલ્ડ છીએ, એ બધી જ વસ્તુઓને એન્વાયરમેન્ટ કહી શકાય. But environment is not only this, but it is very wide, and that we shall study in detail in this introductory session or introductory unit. That means environment is not anything that surrounds us. Supposing if you are sitting in a class and you are surrounded by the say your classmates, or maybe books, or maybe benches, then definitely this makes your environment. But this is not the only environment. Environment is anything that is air, plants, animals, non-living things, physical things, whatever is present around you makes your environment, right? The term environment has been derived from the French word environ. That means environment is basically the term evolving out of French language. French language ની અંદર environ જેવો શબ્દ વાપરવામાં આવે છે, which means એન્સર્કલિંગ ઓર સરાઉન્ડિંગ, જેનો અર્થ એવો થાય છે કે આજુબાજુની જેટલી પણ વસ્તુથી આપણે ઘેરાયેલા હોઈએ એને એન્વાયરન કહેવાય, અને એમાંથી આ શબ્દ એન્વાયરમેન્ટની ઉત્પત્તિ થઈ છે. દેટ ઇઝ સેડ ટુ બી environment. That means the word environment has evolved from the word environ in French language. It consists of all the living components like plants and animals, and also non-living things like water, air, etc. That means જે પણ જીવંત વસ્તુઓ છે અને નિર્જીવ વસ્તુઓ છે એનાથી જે આપણું સરાઉન્ડિંગ, જે આજુબાજુનું આપણું પર્યાવરણ, વાતાવરણ બનેલું છે એને આપણે એન્વાયરમેન્ટ કહેતા હોઈએ છીએ. નાઉ લિવિંગ કમ્પોનન્ટ્સ ઇન્ક્લુડ્સ વોટ? પ્લાન્ટ્સ એન્ડ એનિમલ્સ, એન્ડ નોન લિવિંગ થિંગ્સ ઇન્ક્લુડ વોટ? વોટર એન્ડ એર and etc. Right? We will study in detail what are the non-living things and how they are a part of environment. Again, it is all those things on which we are directly or indirectly dependent for the survival. That means environment, पर्यावरणને આપણે વિશાળતાથી જોઈએ છે. We are taking environment to an enlarged landscape, and we are trying to understand that anything that surrounds us is considered as environment. It may be plant or animals, or it may be any non-living thing like air or water. Again, we directly or indirectly depend on something. See, if we want to survive, if we want to breathe, it is oxygen that is required, right? If we are thirsty and if we want to drink something, it is water that is required. If we want to survive and live on earth, it is land that is required. That means for all the requirement and for all our survival, we depend directly. આપણે સીધી રીતે યા આડકતરી રીતે જે વસ્તુઓ, જે કમ્પોનન્ટ્સ સાથે જોડાયેલા છીએ, that can be considered as the environment. Popularly, environment for some people, the term environment means simply the nature. જે લોકો અત્યારે વિડીયો લેક્ચર સાંભળી રહ્યા છે, they may feel that what is environment? Environment is such a simple thing. It is just the nature around us. It is trees, it is plants, it is birds, it is weeds, it is say rain, it is clouds, it is sky. This is what is environment, nothing much beyond that. But yes, in a layman's language, when we are starting this subject, you may have this idea about the meaning of environment. But further, when we study environment in deep, we should be clear that environment is much more wider term than we know. Or in other words, the natural landscape together with all of its non-human features, characteristics and processes can be considered as environment. Means anything which surrounds us is definitely an environment. Non-human things means જે માનવીય નથી, એ બી પણ બધી જ વસ્તુઓ છે, એની લાક્ષણિકતાઓ છે, એ બધી જ પ્રોસેસીસ છે, right? If it is you are taking up for example rainfall, then rainfall is a natural process. We can't handle or we can't control the rainfall, so it's a part of environment. Those things can be considered as environment. Thus, in short, the environment can be defined as a sum total of all the living and non-living elements and their effects which influence human life. તો એન્વાયરમેન્ટ કોને કહેવાય? તો કે આ બધી જ વસ્તુને તમે જ્યારે એકાગ્રિત કરો, અથવા તો વેન યુ આર બ્રિંગિંગ ઇટ ટુગેધર, વેન યુ મેક અ સમ ટોટલ ઓફ ઇટ, ઇટ મે બી લિવિંગ, જીવંત હોય કે નિર્જીવ હોય, વેન યુ બ્રિંગ ઇટ ટુગેધર, અને એ આપણી લાઈફ ઉપર, હ્યુમન લાઈફ ઉપર અસર કરે છે, ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ કરે છે, પ્રભાવિત કરે છે, તો એ બધા જ તત્વોને આપણે એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ગણાવી શકીએ. વાઇલ ઓલ ધ લિવિંગ or biotic, that means living is also known as biotic. Now see, biotic factor you must have not, or biotic a word you may not have come across earlier. Then biotic means nothing but living. Living એટલે જીવંત હોય એને આપણે biotic elements કહેતા હોય છે. Then which are the biotic elements around us? It is animals, it is plants, it is forest, it is fisheries and birds. જે વસ્તુમાં જીવ છે એ તમામ વસ્તુને આપણે living or we call it biotic. તો એ biotic જેટલા એલિમેન્ટ્સ છે એનાથી આપણું એન્વાયરમેન્ટ બનેલું છે. It also includes the non-living, that means abiotic. એને શું કહેવાય? Abiotic. Abiotic is what? All the non-living elements which includes water, land, sunlight, rocks and air, etc. That means everything which are say a part of water, land, sunlight, rocks, maybe air in that case, they all are abiotic. Abiotic એટલે નિર્જીવ છે છતાં પણ આપણી આજુબાજુ છે, and that is why it's a part of environment. So now if the environment with its primary meaning is clear, we should also understand that what environment does or why it is so important. હવે જો આપણને એક ખ્યાલ આવી ગયો હોય કે વોટ ઇઝ એન્વાયરમેન્ટ, દેન એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ઇઝ નથિંગ બટ એવરીથિંગ દેટ સરાઉન્ડ્સ અસ. જેનાથી, જે તત્વોથી, જે એલિમેન્ટ્સથી આપણે બધા ઘેરાયેલા છીએ એ બધા જ એલિમેન્ટ્સને વી કેન કોલ ઇટ એન્વાયરમેન્ટ. એન્વાયરમેન્ટના જે એલિમેન્ટ્સ છે એને તમે બે ભાગમાં વહેંચી શકો. ઇટ્સ લિવિંગ, દેટ ઇઝ બાયોટિક. ઇટ ઇઝ નોન લિવિંગ, ઇટ ઇઝ એબાયોટિક. રાઈટ? જે લિવિંગ તત્વો પણ આપણી આજુબાજુ છે એન્ડ નોન લિવિંગ એલિમેન્ટ્સ આર ઓલ્સો દેર. ઇન ઓલ, when you sum up all this, you get to know that this is our environment. But here in this slide, what are we trying to say? That why it is important. We told earlier also that environment provides us with air. Without air we cannot survive. Without water we cannot live. Without land, where would we live? Right? So all this question comes up, and these are all the parts of environment. That is why what we are trying to see here, that why it is so important. આપણે એન્વાયરમેન્ટલ સાયન્સ જેવો સબ્જેક્ટ અહીંયા ભણીએ છીએ શું કામ? બિકોઝ ઇટ ઇઝ કનેક્ટેડ ટુ એન્વાયરમેન્ટ એન્ડ એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ઇઝ વેરી વેરી ક્રુશિયલ ટુ અસ. વાય? બિકોઝ ઇટ gives these many kind of advantages. Supposing the very first thing, have you ever imagined if there would have not been any environment, where would we have got the say raw materials? From where would we have got the food to eat? આપણી પાસે જો રિસોર્સિસ સ્ત્રોત ન હોત તો આપણને ક્યાંથી? એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ન હોત, કુદરત ન હોત, નેચર ન હોત, તો વી વુડ હેવ નોટ બીન એબલ ટુ ગેટ ધ રિસોર્સિસ. સો ફર્સ્ટ એન્ડ ફોરમોસ્ટ થિંગ, વાય એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ઇઝ સો મચ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ or what it does, it provides resources. The environment provides resources for production of various commodities and outputs. કોઈ પણ વસ્તુ બનાવવી છે તો આપણને અલ્ટિમેટ એનું જે રો મટીરિયલ છે, એનો જે કાચો માલ છે એ ક્યાંથી મળે છે? વી ગેટ ઇટ ફ્રોમ નેચર, વી ગેટ ઇટ ફ્રોમ એન્વાયરમેન્ટ. સો ધ બેઝિક resources we get it from the environment, and that is why it is very very important. What other resources do we get? These resources may be renewable or non renewable. હવે આ રિસોર્સિસ આ બધું જ આપણે ડેપ્થમાં બીજા યુનિટ્સમાં જોવાના છીએ. Right now we are just taking an overview of the environment, right? So these resources, આ જે સ્ત્રોત છે, we can divide it again into two parts. એક renewable છે. renewable એટલે એક વખત વાપરી લ્યો તો ફરીથી that gets generated, right? Supposing if you are using the water from the pond or we are using the water from the dam, once we keep on using it, the dam gets emptied by a period of time. But what happens again the water cycle carries out its own function, and at the end of the rainy season the dam gets filled up. So these are said to be the renewable resources જે ફરીને આપણી પાસે આવી શકે છે, right? But non renewable are all those resources which we use it once, cannot be used again, right? જેમ કે કોલ છે, પેટ્રોલિયમ છે, આ બધા કેવા છે? નોન રિન્યુએબલ છે. એક વખત આપણે કોઈ પણ આ પેટ્રોલનો ઉપયોગ કરી લીધો, if you have filled your say vehicle with the petrol, and if you are using the petrol or if you are using the vehicles, at the end of the day or at the end of few days you get to see that the tank is over. That means the tank is empty, and that shows that you have already used the petrol. Now if you try to get the petrol just as it is, it's not possible. That means once it is used you cannot get it back. તો એને non renewable resources કહેવાય. ટૂંકમાં બધા જ રિન્યુએબલ એન્ડ નોન રિન્યુએબલ રિસોર્સિસ વી ગેટ ઇટ ફ્રોમ environment. For example, see examples have been given: wood for furniture, soil, land, etc. These are all natural things that we use for the production purpose. That means land નો ઉપયોગ આપણે એગ્રીકલ્ચર માટે કરતા હોઈએ, સોઇલ નો ઉપયોગ આપણે એના માટે કરતા હોઈએ છીએ, ફર્નિચર માટે wood નો ઉપયોગ કરીએ છીએ. These are very basic examples that tells us that these type of things we get it for getting all the commodities. That means જે પણ વસ્તુ આપણે વાપરીએ છીએ, we can't have it directly from nature. We can't get it produced without any raw materials, and the raw materials we get it from the environment. And that is why the first and foremost importance or function is it provides resources. Next, it gives life. We all know that thus for our survival, whatever we require, start with the gas like oxygen. Without oxygen, none of us can survive, right? Trees can't survive without carbon dioxide. That means if we want to have the life, આપણે જો જીવંત રહેવું છે તો એન્વાયરમેન્ટને જીવિત રાખવું બહુ જરૂરી છે, right? So it gives the life. Let us see it. We already know that the environment includes the sun, soil, water, air, which are must for the human survivor or life. Again, environment supports life by providing genetic, that means study of genes, and biodiversity means all the living things. When you bring it together, we will see these things in detail in the next topics to come down, right? But for our survival right now, what we need to understand, for our survival, say for the basic needs, air, water and land, what we depend upon, we depend upon the nature, we depend upon the environment, and that is why the second function it gives life. What was the first function? It provides resources. Next, it gives life, right? Next comes up is said to be it absorbs the waste. Very important function. Whatever waste we produce, may it be from industries or may it be from our side as individual or families or community, whatever waste we produce, everything is being absorbed by the environment. Just imagine if there would have not been environment around us, where would we have been able to throw the waste? Where would we have been able to dispose the garbage? તો એ કેટલો મોટો પ્રશ્ન હોત જો એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ન હોત. તો એન્વાયરમેન્ટ શું કરે છે? ઇટ એબ્ઝોર્બ્સ ધ વેસ્ટ. એ પોતાની અંદર જે પણ ટાઈપનું વેસ્ટ છે, વોટર વેસ્ટ છે તો એ એવી રીતે એબ્ઝોર્બ કરે છે. સોલિડ વેસ્ટ છે તો ઇટ કન્ઝ્યુમ્સ ઓર ઇટ એબ્ઝોર્બ્સ લાઈક દેટ. એન્ડ લાઇકવાઇઝ we all know that there is too much of generation of waste at the end of production and consumption activities, which we generally know as garbage. That means whatever we produce, even if a simple thing like pencil, if you are holding a pencil in your hand right now, and if you just check it out that while manufacturing of this pencil or producing this pencil, કેટલું એ ગાર્બેજ, કેટલો એ નકામો વેસ્ટ જનરેટ થયો હશે. એ જનરેટ થયેલો વેસ્ટ ક્યાં અલ્ટિમેટલી ડિસ્પોઝ થાય છે? તો ઇટ ઇઝ ડિસ્પોઝડ ઇન ધ નેચર, ઇટ ઇઝ ડિસ્પોઝડ ઇન ધી એન્વાયરમેન્ટ, ઇટ ઇઝ થ્રોન ઇન ધી એન્વાયરમેન્ટ, right? And environment in one or the other ways absorbs this waste. Next comes up is, and this garbage is consumed, as I told you, or absorbed by the environment, helping to get rid of the garbage. Imagine if there would have not been any kind of environment before us or around us, then it would be very difficult where we would have just taken up the steps to throw this garbage. So it absorbs the waste. That is third function or the third important thing that it does. Fourth one is it helps to increase the quality of life. If the environment would have not been there, if enough amount of oxygen would have not been there with us or around us, we would have not been able to live, we would have not been able to survive. That is, pure environment enhances means it increases the quality of life. See, if we all live in urban areas, right? If you travel to rural areas, or say if you are traveling to some kind of hill station, even if you go for 5-6 days to hill station, you get everything in its pure sense. That means air, water is so pure there, and when you exhale and inhale the pure things there, you exhale out the carbon dioxide and you inhale oxygen, what happens is ultimately the system of body, that means the body system, starts working very well. It helps to increase the quality of life. In the same way, you feel fresh when you are there at the hill station for few days, right? But why? The ultimate reason is that you are relaxed, you are taking the pure air. That means it helps to increase the quality of life, right? This is just an example that I have quoted. Next comes up is human beings enjoy natural beauty and scenic beauty like rivers, mountains, deserts, etc. If you travel to any other place, say if you are traveling to the place which has a seashore, then you are enjoying that nature. If you are traveling to hill station, you are enjoying mountains and rivers. Or if you are traveling to a desert area, then you are enjoying the nature in that sense. That means if that would have not been there, there would have not been any kind of say beauty before us, right? And that is what the nature or environment gives us. The last point is these adds to the quality of life that we live in. If we live in a good hygienic and a very natural kind of environment, ultimately our living standard increases. That means the quality of life as far as our body is concerned increases, the system gets modified and everything comes back to normal very easily. That means environment also helps in increasing quality of life. It absorbs the waste, it gives us with all the types of life resources, or that means whatever we need to live, that is given by the environment. And most important, we get the resources, whatever things we want, everything, almost everything, we get it from one or the other way, we get it from environment, and this is how it helps us. So here part 1 is over, that means introduction is over. I think by the end of the introduction you should be clear that everything that surrounds us, it may be living is said to be biotic, it may be non-living, it is said to be abiotic, right? And whatever the substances we are surrounded with, it makes our environment. This is the simplest definition that we have learned. And what environment does give us the resources, it gives us the life, it absorbs the waste, and moreover what it does, it improves the quality of life. That means all these things if we want, then environment is a must. Means basic idea we have got about environment. We are moving to point number 2, that is related to definitions. And definitions, here I have taken up 3 important definitions, or rather simple definitions to make you understand what is environment. Yes, what is important is when you take up the definition of particular person, then you cannot adjust words in the definition by your own wish. That means if you remember, you have to remember the definition given by a particular person from word to word. You cannot change the definitions, right? So wherever you are reproducing the definitions in the answer paper, you have to be very clear that word to word you go with the definition. This is the first definition provided by Gaudy. What does the person says? Environment is the representation of physical components of the earth where man is important factor affecting the environment. That means environment is consisting all the physical factors which surrounds us, and human beings affect the environment, right? We in one or the other ways affect the environment, and the external environment affects us. This is the definition given by Gaudy. I repeat, the definition has to be understood as it is, and they are to be reproduced in the same language. You can't change the, or you can't shuffle the words. Next is given by Douglas. They say the term environment is used to describe in the aggregate all the external factors, influences and conditions which affect the life, nature, behavior and the growth, development and maturity of a living organism. That means environment is such a thing which is aggregate. Aggregate means sum total. Sum total of what? External factors, conditions, nature, life, behavior. If you are in a pleasant atmosphere, automatically you feel good from inside, right? That means it affects our development, it affects the growth, it affects the maturity in one or the other ways. When these external factors in sum total affect us, those all elements can be considered as the environment. The last and the third one is the condition that surrounds someone or something. The conditions and the influences that affect the growth, health, progress, etc. of someone or something is considered as environment. That means જે condition આપણને સરાઉન્ડ કરે છે, આપણને જે કન્ડિશન્સથી આપણે ઘેરાયેલા છીએ એ આપણા ગ્રોથ ઉપર, હેલ્થ ઉપર, પ્રોગ્રેસ ઉપર, ઇન વન ઓર ધી અધર વેઝ વેન ઇટ અફેક્ટ્સ, everything that affects can be considered as the environment. So here for today's lecture we are ending up the session, because we have taken up today with the introduction of environment and we have seen few of the simple definitions. So by now you should be clear that what is environment. Environment is anything that surrounds us. It may be biotic, it may be abiotic factors. That means non-living પણ હોઈ શકે, living factors પણ હોઈ શકે, પણ જે આપણને ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ કરે છે, પ્રભાવિત કરે છે, ને આપણે directly or indirectly we are dependent on these factors, they all are considered to be the environmental elements or environment. Right? So at the end of this particular session you should be clear about two things. One is simple introduction to environment and the other one is the definitions of environment. I repeat, definitions you have to remember it as it is, it has to go word to word. Alright, we end up the session here. When we meet next I shall be giving a few more aspects about the environment, and the subject of environmental science will go ahead. By the time we meet next, it's a goodbye from my side. Take care and be safe. Thank you.